This video will cover two-step equations. This is something we did talk about last year, but we will be reviewing two-step equations. Just a reminder that we are trying to isolate the variable. When we isolate the variable, we are trying to get the variable on one side by itself. So let's start with, this should be m over 4 plus 2 equals 10. I'm going to write it a little larger on my open space over here. M over 4 plus 2 equals 10. As we are trying to isolate the variable, I'm going to identify my variable as m. So some number m that I don't know divided by 4 plus 2 equals 10. Okay, so m divided by 4 plus 2 equals 10. My first step in isolating my variable is, let's just take the whole variable and square it, because it's the variable divided by 4. So my first step would be to subtract 2, because I want to get rid of this 2. But remember, it's an equal sign, so it's an equation, so I have to subtract 2. Remember, I do the same thing on both sides. Here, I'm going to get 0. So I'm left with m divided by 4 equals 10 minus 2 is 8. Now, I did the inverse of addition, and I subtracted. I'm going to do the inverse of division, which is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply this side by 4. And when I do that, those will cancel and equal 1. So I'm left with m. But if I multiply one side of the equation by 4, I must multiply the other side by 4. So 8 times 4 is 32. I should be able to verify. I need to check my answer. So let's substitute this in. 32 is now what I'm substituting for m. Divided by 4 plus 2. Well, 32 divided by 4 is 8, and 8 plus 2 does in fact equal 10. Solving two-step equations. Let's look at another one. The next one on our list is 7 equals 2y minus 3. Some of you don't like the equation to look like that. Since it is an equation, I can take this expression, 7, and put it over on this side, and this expression, 2y minus 3, and just swap places. So now it's 2y minus 3 equals 7. Again, we're trying to isolate the variable. Here's my variable. So since 2y is together minus 3, the inverse of subtracting 3 is adding 3. Remember, I do the same thing to both sides. I'm left with 2y equals 7 plus 3 is 10. 2y signifies I'm taking 2 times y, a number I don't know. The inverse of multiplication is division. If I were to divide by 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times y is y. Do the same thing to both sides. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Is y in fact equal to 5? Well, let's verify that it is true, going back to our original equation. So I'm going to substitute. Instead of y, I'm putting 5. 2 times 5 minus 3. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 minus 3 does in fact equal 7, which is what I wanted to get as a solution. We've got 2 more here to try. Let's start with x over 9 minus 15 equals 12. Write it a little bigger. X divided by 9 minus 15 equals 12. Okay? Identify my variable, which is x. That is what I'm trying to isolate. Since I'm subtracting 15, the inverse of subtracting 15 is indeed adding 15. But if I add 15 to one side, remember, I need to do the same thing on both sides. These will cancel and get 0. X over 9 does in fact equal whatever 12 plus 15 is. That is 27. Now, this is x divided by 9. The inverse of dividing by 9 is multiplying by 9. Those, in fact, will cancel because they equal 1. But I have to do the same thing to both sides. So I need to multiply 27 times 9. Okay, Logan, 27 times 9. 9 times 9 times 7 is 63. 9 times 2 is 18. 18 plus 6 is 24. 243. We can check, is 243 going to be a solution for x? Let's substitute back in. 243 divided by 9 minus 15. Okay. 243. 9 will go into 24. Calvin, how many times will 9 go into 24? 2 times. 9 times 2 is 18. That leaves us with a 6. I bring down my 3. How many times will 9 go into 67, Chloe? I'm sorry, 9 goes into 63 7 times. So 27 minus 15. What's 27 minus 15? It is, in fact, 12, which is the answer we were looking for. One final equation for us to solve. Here we go. Negative 9 minus 4m equals 3. Again, we're isolating the variable. What's my variable? M. What is attached to m? In other words, what is its coefficient? You might say it's 4. We can't forget about this little minus sign. We're subtracting 4m, so all of that needs to go together. So now I have a negative 9 minus 4m equals 3. How am I going to isolate negative 4m? I'm going to have to get rid of the negative 9. What's the inverse of negative 9? Positive 9. Those will cancel because they become 0, but I have to do the same thing to both sides, which means I need to add 9 to the other side of the equal sign. I'm left then with negative 4m. Negative 4m is going to equal whatever 3 plus 9 is. 3 plus 9 is 12. Now, to isolate m, this is negative 4 times m. The inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by the coefficient, which is negative 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 should be 1. 1 times m is m. But remember, it's an equation. I need to do the same thing to both sides. 12 divided by negative 4, negative 3. I should be able to check for sure if negative 3 is a solution. Let's substitute it in. Negative 9 minus 4 times negative 3. What's 4 times negative 3? Negative 12. So now it's negative 9 minus negative 12. Double negative here becomes a positive. Negative 9 plus 12 is in fact 3, which is the answer I was looking for. Solving two-step equations, a quick review.